The story kicks off in a quiet little town where we meet Claire, a 16-year-old high school student who seems completely ordinary. If you saw her walking down the street, you would never guess there is something deeply unsettling beneath that calm appearance. Claire lives with her grandmother, who used to enjoy a successful career as an actress, and life seems perfectly normal until one afternoon when transportation home falls through. While she is trying to figure out another way back, a man driving nearby asks for directions. He does everything he can to appear trustworthy, even showing pictures of his daughter and offering to pay for the help. It sounds harmless enough, so Claire agrees to ride along. Before long, little details start feeling completely off. The vehicle is filthy, his behavior does not line up with what he told her earlier, and he refuses to stop after she asks to get out. At that point, Claire realizes she is dealing with someone dangerous. Instead of panicking, she reacts with shocking speed and manages to escape after a violent crash in an isolated area. Rather than calling for help, she calmly removes every trace that could connect her to the scene, revealing that this is far from her first encounter with people she considers evil. Back home, Claire quietly cleans everything she used that night with incredible care, making it obvious she has done this before. To her, tracking down dangerous people has become almost routine. When her friend Juliana arrives for their planned study session, Claire casually invents an excuse for why she is late. Unfortunately, the lie falls apart almost immediately because the place she claimed to be waiting at had actually been closed all day. Juliana does not argue, but it is clear she knows something is not adding up. Later that night, Claire has a conversation with someone no one else can see. The mysterious visitor is the spirit of a mail carrier whose death was connected to Claire in the past. He warns her that the incident on the road is going to create serious trouble very soon, but Claire brushes off the warning and refuses to listen. The next day at school, everyone is talking about an old missing student whose disappearance was never solved. As more details come out, Claire realizes the man she encountered fits the description of the person believed to have targeted young girls for a long time. That discovery leaves her wondering if she unknowingly stopped someone far more dangerous than she first imagined. Her relief does not last very long. A detective arrives at the school to question students about the recent incident, and when Claire is asked to account for several hours of her day, she is forced to improvise another story. The detective senses that something is off, but without evidence he has no choice except to let her leave while quietly keeping an eye on her. Trying to move on, Claire later accepts an invitation to a party after some hesitation. At first, the evening feels surprisingly normal, and she even starts getting along with another guest. That growing connection catches the attention of Wade, who clearly dislikes seeing them together. The atmosphere changes completely when police officers arrive after neighbors complain about the noise, sending everyone scrambling to avoid getting caught. While hiding inside the house, Claire accidentally discovers a collection of disturbing photographs showing several unconscious young women. One face immediately stands out because it belongs to the missing student everyone had been discussing earlier. In that instant, Claire realizes someone at the party may be connected to a much larger criminal operation. Just as she is putting the pieces together, Wade walks into the room and catches her looking through the pictures. Thinking quickly, Claire claims she was only hiding from the police. Wade appears to accept the explanation, but Claire decides it is far safer to leave before the situation becomes even more dangerous. The next day, Claire and Amy head to school to audition for the upcoming play. While they are waiting, Claire suddenly asks a question that catches Amy completely off guard. She wants to know if Wade was ever controlling during their relationship, or if he ever pressured her into doing things she did not want to do. Instead of answering, Amy immediately gets defensive. Rather than thinking about the question itself, she accuses Claire of sneaking off to Wade's party behind her back. The conversation goes nowhere, and Claire realizes she is not going to learn anything useful. Still convinced something is terribly wrong, Claire starts digging on her own. She spends hours searching through old reports and discovers a disturbing pattern. Over the years, multiple girls from the same school have disappeared without a trace, and not a single one of them was ever found. That discovery sends her straight to Juliana's house. Claire desperately tries to explain everything. She tells Juliana about the hidden photographs she found in Wade's bedroom, showing missing girls lying unconscious. But Juliana refuses to believe a word of it. As far as she is concerned, Wade is a decent guy who does not even drink, so the idea that he could be involved in something this horrible sounds impossible. Instead of listening, Juliana turns the conversation against Claire and accuses her of making excuses because she secretly likes Wade herself. Claire leaves feeling more frustrated than ever. Back at school, she spots Detective Timmons walking through the hallway. Wanting absolutely nothing to do with another interrogation, Claire quickly slips inside the theater building and quietly shuts the door behind her. Inside, she runs into the drama teacher, Mr. Edward. During their conversation, he unexpectedly offers her the lead male role in the school play. The opportunity comes out of nowhere, but Claire accepts without giving it a second thought. Unfortunately, her brief escape does not last very long. Outside, Detective Timmons is already pounding on the theater door. Claire tries to leave before he catches her, but he tracks her down anyway. Soon they are sitting in the principal's office for yet another interview. The detective explains that a witness reported seeing a red-haired girl at the bus stop on the day of the fatal crash. Claire calmly repeats the exact same story she has been telling from the beginning, insisting she simply waited for the bus and never spoke to any stranger. Timmons points out one major problem. Her timeline still contains an unexplained 3-hour gap. He is convinced she is hiding something, but once again suspicion is all he has. Without physical evidence, he cannot arrest her, so after giving her a serious warning, he reluctantly lets her go. Back home, Claire cannot stop thinking about those photographs she found in Wade's house. Why were images of unconscious girls hidden there? The question keeps eating away at her until she becomes completely obsessed with finding the answer as quickly as possible. Following another suggestion from Bob, Claire breaks into an abandoned house that might contain clues. Inside, she discovers a video camera along with several photographs. Some of the pictures include Claire herself standing beside other girls. She immediately realizes they were taken by Helga during Wade's party. That changes everything. If Helga took those pictures and the camera somehow ended up hidden in this abandoned place, then maybe Helga and Wade are working together. The next day after rehearsal, Helga walks over to talk with her like nothing happened. Claire does not even let him speak. She punches him square in the face and orders him to stay away from her. Not long after, she receives devastating news. Juliana has disappeared. The guilt hits Claire immediately. She warned her again and again, but Juliana never listened. Now her closest friend is missing, and Claire cannot shake the feeling that she could have prevented it. Things only get worse when she arrives home. Her grandmother Gigi has been searching through Claire's room and discovers the knife Claire had hidden away, one that still carries evidence connecting it to a past crime. As if that were not enough, Claire also learns the town has been placed under a curfew because of the recent disappearances. That means she cannot freely search for Juliana. A heated argument erupts between Claire and Gigi. Holding up the knife, Gigi demands to know why Claire owns something like this. Claire desperately wants to tell the truth, but believes revealing everything would only place her grandmother in danger. Gigi refuses to let her leave the house, explaining that she has already lost her own daughter and cannot bear the thought of losing Claire too. Claire ignores her anyway. She sneaks out and heads straight to Helga's home, determined to confront him. She demands to know who asked him to take those pictures and why his camera ended up abandoned with all those disturbing photographs. Helga is genuinely shocked by the accusation. He explains that his camera was actually stolen during Wade's party and insists he has never seen those pictures before in his life. Claire then shows him one of the photographs featuring the unconscious girls. Helga studies it carefully before admitting he does recognize the location in the background. He says he once visited that same house for a modeling photo shoot and gives Claire the address. For the first time in days, Claire finally has a real lead. She rushes to the house, hoping Juliana is still alive inside. When she knocks on the door, an unfamiliar man answers. Thinking quickly, Claire pretends to be an innocent girl searching for her missing friend. To get inside, she casually asks if she can use the bathroom. The man agrees. Once inside, Claire asks for a glass of water, fully aware she could be walking into a trap. Sure enough, the man secretly mixes a powerful sedative into her drink. Claire notices exactly what he is doing, but instead of exposing him, she keeps acting, drinks the entire glass without hesitation, and moments later collapses to the floor as if the drug worked instantly. Believing she is completely unconscious, the man carries her downstairs into a dark basement, ties her up inside a locked room, and leaves. When Claire eventually opens her eyes, she makes another horrifying discovery. Juliana is there. She is tied to a chair, terrified, and still trapped. Trying not to reveal that she has regained consciousness, Claire quietly listens as the kidnapper talks on the phone with one of his wealthy clients named Jess. During that conversation, she uncovers the truth behind everything. The man's name is Randall Morton. He is the twin brother of Joe Morton, the predator Claire stopped a few days earlier during the roadside attack. The brothers had been running an organized human trafficking operation together, kidnapping young women and selling them to rich clients like Jess. Claire also learns that after Joe's death, someone new has stepped in to help keep the operation alive. Before hanging up, Randall orders a transport vehicle to pick up both girls. According to the plan, it will arrive in exactly 1 hour. Claire knows she cannot wait for someone else to save them. The second Randall looks away, she quietly slips her hands free from the ropes. Sitting nearby is a pair of scissors, and she carefully grabs them before sneaking up behind the guard watching the room. In one quick move, she takes him down before he even realizes she is standing behind him. That single attack throws the entire hideout into chaos. One after another, members of the trafficking ring rush toward her, and Claire tears through them with frightening efficiency. Eventually, she manages to get hold of a handgun, but Randall reacts instantly. He grabs the unconscious Juliana and presses the scissors against her neck. Just then, the sound of a police car echoes from outside. For a brief moment, Claire feels genuine relief. That hope disappears the second the officer walks through the door. It is Detective Timmons, and instead of helping them, he calmly reveals that he has been part of the trafficking operation the entire time. Everything suddenly makes sense. During the struggle, Randall becomes increasingly desperate, but before he can seriously hurt anyone, Claire fires a shot into his shoulder. The injury is enough for her to overpower him and leave him unconscious on the floor. Seeing the operation completely fall apart, Detective Timmons decides saving himself is more important than saving his partners. He immediately runs for the exit and disappears. Claire quickly unties Juliana, gets her to safety, and makes sure the truth reaches the public. News of the trafficking network spreads across the town, exposing the criminal organization that had been operating in secret for years. It feels like the nightmare is finally over, except it is not. When Claire returns home, she walks into the worst surprise of her life. Detective Timmons is already inside the house. The real horror hits when she realizes her grandmother Gigi is no longer alive. Timmons calmly explains that he has a proposal. Instead of fighting him, he wants Claire to join him. He admits he knows she was responsible for Joe Morton's death and even knows about Bob, the mail carrier whose death has haunted her ever since. Rather than turning her in, he offers her a place at his side so they can continue running the operation together. Claire can barely process what she is hearing. Through tears, she tells him he has officially taken the last thing she had left to lose. She is talking about her grandmother. Without another word, Claire lunges at him with a knife. Timmons dodges the attack, and the two crash into a savage fight that tears through the house. For a while, it looks like Claire might actually lose. Timmons eventually gains the upper hand, wraps his hands around her throat, and throws her into the backyard swimming pool. Believing she has drowned, he turns around and starts walking away. Big mistake. A moment later, Claire suddenly bursts out of the water almost like a ghost. She silently moves behind him before he even realizes she survived. In one swift motion, she snaps his neck, bringing an end to the corrupt detective once and for all. After everything that happened, life slowly begins returning to normal. Juliana goes back to school, trying to move on from the nightmare she survived. Claire also returns, preparing backstage for the school's theater performance. Then, for one final time, Bob appears. Claire sadly tells him that her grandmother is gone. Bob gently says he already knows and reassures her that Gigi is finally at peace and still watching over her. Just before disappearing, though, Bob leaves Claire with one final warning. He tells her the darkness surrounding Oak Street has not been completely erased. There is still one last job waiting for her. Before fading away, he quietly whispers a mysterious code into her ear. Claire instantly recognizes what it means. It is the passcode for Amy's phone. Without wasting any time, she gets hold of the phone, enters the code, and starts reading the messages stored inside. What she finds changes everything. The mysterious new member Randall mentioned during his phone call was never a stranger. It was Amy. Her own friend had secretly been working with Jess, the leader of the trafficking organization, all along. The betrayal fills Claire with silent rage. As the school play is about to begin, she walks over to the prop table and notices the fake stage knife prepared for the performance. Without anyone noticing, she secretly replaces it with a real blade. A few moments later, the curtain rises. Claire walks onto the stage and takes her place beneath the spotlight. The red light washes across her face, and the anger in her eyes says everything before she speaks a single word. The movie ends by making one thing perfectly clear. Claire believes her mission is not over yet. Someone else is still on her list.